Now, I've heard a lot of the similar things here. The one thing that I almost never hear is that the purpose of school is to do well on examinations or to get good marks or go to college, because you do hear them sometimes, but they are basically seen as a means to these ends. These are the real ends, and maybe getting good marks may be a means to that end, but it's not the primary reason for school. So it's very important for you to keep in mind these things, right? Because if you were designing something, anything, a car, whatever it is, you say, well, what is it supposed to do? Why am I designing this? It's supposed to do something, right? And then you design it to make that happen. Now, this is what the entire world is saying. The whole world is saying this is what we want schools to do. Now, the question is it happening? Are schools actually doing this? Is this what's actually happening in schools? This is very important because we are all agreeing that this is what we want, right? So it's common sense that if this is what we want, that's what schools should do. So let's take a look. Okay, so basically the school model that we have today, and I like this young lady in the first, your description was marvelous, but the basic model that we have today is something that was perfected between 1875 and 1925, okay? That fundamental model has not changed between 1875 and 1925, and that model was created by a guy named Frederick, I think his first name, Taylor, and the whole system is called Taylorism, and Taylorism is a management model that was designed for factories, to make factories more efficient and more effective. So that management model was brought to schools because it said, hey, if we can make factories more effective and more efficient, why not schools, right? So for example, just as an example, they created the grading system. That was also between 1875 and 1925, like the A, B, C, D, and by the way, there's no E. You know why? Does anybody know why there's no E? There's the A, B, C, D, and F in the grading system. There's no E because people may accidentally think that's excellent, so they don't want to do that, right? So it's A, B, C, D, and F. And by the way, the only other group that actually adopted that practice was the American Meat Packers Association. And they said, well, this is a good system for grading meat. Let's do that. But then the Meat Packers Association was very unhappy with the grading because they said meat is much too complicated to be assigned just a grade. Because within a sirloin, there's like all of these qualities, and we're basically ignoring the fine qualities of meat. But the education establishment were completely fine with assigning a letter grade to a student and saying, you're an A or you're a B or you're a C, and they didn't have any problems. Even the meat packing industry, and I'm saying, is they reluctantly adopted that standard.